2021, May, June, paper 4, we're doing functions, question 12C we're looking at, okay. And it tells us to solve the function of gx equaling the function of x plus 37. So we don't need to panic, all we need to do is substitute the functions that are given us up here, down here. So first of all, the function of g is x squared plus 5. So we write down x squared plus 5 equals. Okay, then the function of x is 3 minus 2x. So we write that down, 3 minus 2x. And then they have slapped a plus 37 at the back of it. All right, now, if we look at this, there is a few clues of what needs to happen next. Okay, we have to solve it, which means we have to find x. And it also shows us there are two x's. Okay, another clue is we have an x squared. So the two solutions and the x squared tell us we are dealing here with a quadratic equation. So if you remember, all quadratic equations, or most of them, usually crosses the x-axis in two spots. That's why we have two spaces. And we have various methods of solving quadratic equations. So let's start off first by rearranging this. Okay, if we write a quadratic equation in its natural form, we can say, it will always be something x squared plus something x plus something. And from there, we have various methods of solving it. So let's deal with this one, right? We leave the x squared where it is. And we move everything to the other side. So first, the minus 2x becomes plus 2x. We'll leave the plus 5 there. And move the 3 across, it becomes minus 3. And move the positive 37 across, it becomes minus 37. And there's nothing left on the right hand side, so we put a 0. Okay. Now we can simplify this. The x squared stays an x squared. 2x stays 2x. And 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 minus 37 is negative 35. Equals to 0. Alright, so now we have it in this form over here. Okay. And like I said, there's various methods to solve this. You can use the quadratic equation. You can use completing the square. There's maybe various ways. But if we look at this one, the first method is, the most basic one is factorizing it into two brackets. Putting an x there and an x there. Then we have to think of two numbers that we multiply together to get us negative 35. And there's only 1 and 35. And then, of course, 7 and 5. Okay, when we multiply them, we need to get a negative 35. So, it's either going to be negative 7 times 5, which gives me negative 35. Or it's going to be 7 times negative 5, which also gives negative. Alright. So one of these is the possible options to go in the brackets here. Now when we add them together, we need to get the plus 2x. So if we take the first one there, negative 7 plus 5, we get negative 2. We need a positive 2. If we take 7 plus minus 5, which is 7 minus 5, we get a positive 2. So this is our final two numbers that needs to go in the bracket. So we have a positive 7 and a negative 5. I know this is correct because when I multiply out these brackets, I'm going to get what's above there. X times x is x squared. X times minus 5 is minus 5x. 7 times x is 7x. Minus 5x plus 7x gives me 2x. And then 7 times minus 5 gives me minus 35. So now we can move forward from here and solve it. We split the brackets up and set them each equal to 0. Move the number across. I have x equals 7. Move the minus 5 across, it becomes positive. It's x equals 5. Of course, when I move the 7 across, it becomes a negative. Don't forget that. Right, and that's our answers. X equals negative 7 and x equals 5. I can always check if my answer is correct. If I put the 5 into this left-hand equation, 5 squared is 25 plus 5 is 30. Put the 5 in here. 2 times minus 5 is minus 10. Minus 10. 3 minus 10 is minus 7. 37 minus 7 is 30. That's the correct answer. Same with minus 7. If we put it in there, we get 54. If we put minus 7 into this, work it out, we get 54. We know the answer is correct.